cycle update. God only knows what crypto will run you. 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 Folks, people just didn't listen. I said it before, on CryptoTalk.fm. My name is Leicester. I'm your host today. I said this before. God only knows what crypto will rug you. Now, when I said that, I was referring to a very specific context that I don't think people have been listening. In fact, I'm pretty sure they've not been listening because I'm now seeing more messaging, but also, more importantly, more of value. I am going to be talking about a couple of recent things, and then I'm also going to be talking about some observations I'm seeing across social media. Now, I said once before on a past episode here on the show, God only knows what crypto will rug you. People didn't understand kind of what I was going with that. Many maybe atheists, I don't know. They didn't get what I was referring to. What I was referring to is that we have to redefine scam. I said that, and now I'm hoping you're understanding. Smart people are seeing what I'm seeing. I actually had a couple people that they resonated. They're like, okay, what the heck, because they're seeing what I'm seeing. They're seeing what I've been seeing. They're seeing what I've been seeing now close to a year. Here's the truth, okay? I said that it's like a kid in a candy store. It's like a certain unnamed billionaire that happened to dump a bunch of money into an outlaw mud show operation. And it seems like he's trying to fix it now, but the damage is done, right? Look at how much time passed after he dumped a bunch of money on a bunch of outlaw folks, right? And put a piss poor product out. There's people that simply are anti the other brand. And so they're just fiending, look it up, for some alternative. And as a result, they gravitated to this. And what they've done is they've now enticed people into a style that is garbage. It's flat out garbage. It's causing more injuries. It's causing less satisfaction. People getting paid, but it's outlaw. It's garbage. It's trash. It's not what it should be. It's actually a step back in many, many ways. It does not advance the business. And I said that right there is what I see of BlockDAG. Outlaw mud show. For the same reason, you have wealthy people, and we know that there's wealth. This cannot be disputed. We know there's wealth. Some would say, "Yeah, money, wealth was there long before you." We knew this. It's documented. It cannot be disputed. Since we knew wealth was there long before you showed up, we have to accept that there's wealthy people doing wealthy people's shit. When I look at the project of what was and the project of what is, I see a very clear picture of what likely happened. All of the stuff, and I'll talk about some of these releases because I use those to support my case. I even went to the deep details of asking AI, and I told that story on CoinMarketCap. And AI, essentially, I was able to beat what it said because people are using AI to support their case, and I was able to beat those narratives because even AI, all it could find was DL News and ZachXBT. DL News is dead. It shut down. Why did it shut down? Because it was broke. So their claims of saying, well, where's the money at on DL News? And by the way, a member of the consensus was a strong contributor to those stories. I'll get to that in a second. But the DL News, their whole big thing is the money. Where's the money? Where's the money? And then DL News turns out they're broke and they ain't got no money. So all they were doing was jumping on the bandwagon to try to spike views because they were desperate in a last ditch attempt to try to get the hell on somebody's radar so that they could save the business, and then failed. So they shut down because they were numbnuts. Then you got on the other side, ZachXBT, who made some claims and provided some on-chain trace, and I've already debunked those with its AI I'll talk about. But bottom line is that ZachXBT has provided no proof of any wrongdoing. He's provided proof of shady shit. We already knew about the shady shit. Everybody knew about the shady shit. The shady shit was there from day one. When you saw a dude standing on the moon, that was shady shit. If you bought in because you saw a dude standing on the moon kicking, that shady shit, you should blame yourself.
which I'll get to here in a second. But here's the thing. The BlockDAG that was and the BlockDAG that is are so markedly different. They are so dramatically different. And if you watch what was going on, it becomes clear, at least to me, what likely, with no evidence, I don't have evidence. That's the difference between me and some of these other jackoffs is they state shit as definitive fact. I don't. I say, this is what I observe. This is what I observe. I don't know what it means, and I don't know that I'm right, but this is what I observe. And then I look for you to go and observe the same shit you can see for yourself to be the truth, and then from that truth, make your own decision about what you do about it. Because I'm not bandwagoning. I'm not telling you it is or isn't. Never have I. I said from my lens, I don't see scam. That's what I said. And I put it public because I want you to hold me accountable. But we have to fix the definition of scam, which I said before. The BlockDAG that was, there are people who put in a number that they claimed. I've seen numbers tossed that are essentially in the 5 figures. I have no fucking clue why you would put 5 figures into some shit where it's just a dude standing on the moon talking, because that's all you had. You didn't have a project. You didn't have a building. You had nothing. They did it because of a guy standing on the moon. Are you hearing me right now? We can say, well, we did it because of Dr. Maurice Hurley. He didn't do shit, far as we can tell. He might have been consulted at times, but he didn't really do anything. So the technique that was used, and there were people on CoinMarketCap community that even called this out. It's a technique designed to trigger your FOMO. You see notable people. It's supposed to add credibility, so you believe it's worth doing it. We're not talking about credibility. We're not talking about the people there. We're talking about people's failed decisions that they have not owned, even now, which apparently we're talking 2 years, and they still have not owned their part to play in their position. Because the first step is admitting you have a problem, because we're talking about Stockholm syndrome and, to a lesser degree, a derivation, look it up, of like AAA or AA or single A or whatever the fuck A. You got people that have not accepted their part to play in their position. You've got people that don't understand why they're broke down on the side of the road. You got people that don't understand how to keep the fucking card nearby to know to call the tow truck and then own why you were the one who chose not to get the fucking tire fixed that got you flat on the side of the road. You got people that don't understand that your 12-volt battery needs to actually be maintained and replaced, and so they don't get maintenance on the car, which is what caused them to be broke down on the side of the road. That's why I said AAA. I had to put it 360. People don't get it. You have to acknowledge your own fuck up. If you don't, nothing gets fixed. So, BlockDAG that was had nothing to show for it until they did the first iterations of the testnet. That's the first time you saw anything of any tangible anything, and the hackathons and all this stuff. It still wasn't substantive. There still wasn't anything you were benefiting from. The statements made during the pre-sale gave you the impression. It gave you the impression that something was already done when it wasn't ever done. Nobody was able to verify that there truly was a DAG that was stated to exist. Nobody was ever able to prove any of that stuff out. So I'm asking you to think. Question number 1. Why would somebody put 5 figures into something based on stated claims that they did not have any evidence on? Because those people are dumbasses. I'm talking to your 5-figure peoples. The 4-figure peoples, it might have been throwaway for them. The 5-figure might have been throwaway. I don't think it was. I think the people that put 5 figures, I don't think it was throwaway. And that's why they're so pissed off, because they put more than they could really afford. They would probably claim, no, I could afford it. Whatever. I don't think it was. I think that's why they're so angry. Because if you're angry, this is your lesson from your uncle. If you're really pissed off, if you're really angry, if you're really upset, if you're lawsuit charge, you put more than you can afford to lose. Because the whole mantra should be, you understand I could lose this shit, okay? You're going to hear me say countless times, not just here, multiple more times, you only lose if and when you sell at a loss. For the longest time, you couldn't sell. There are people still sitting on coins that are essentially worthless. I say essentially, there's value, but the value's low because of the stuff that's going on. I'll get to that in a second. There are people who refuse to go to the exchanges. There are people who listened when the team told them, Weebot's a scam, which was a lie, and me repeatedly telling you they're lying to you. And turns out now Weebot is one of the very slim few exchanges they have that's MiCA compliant. Fancy that. Leicester was telling you the truth the whole time that Weebot was fully legit. I tried to tell you and you didn't listen to me. You listened to dumbasses. And I don't just mean the team, even though they're culpable, look it up, in what I'm talking about. I'm talking the dumbasses. You know the dumbasses, the consensus, the dumbasses that lied to you and told you to just sit in the corner and be pissed off, frustrated, instead of being smart about how you deal with shit. Listen, I don't care if you don't think highly of me. I don't. I put information out there and people will absorb it or they won't. If they don't, that's great. Keep getting fucked up, okay? It's cool. It won't stop me putting the information out. Because anybody that has taken the time to go back and listen, or people that have listened for a while, and I've had a couple reach out and say, I've been listening for a while. He's straight up. He's legit on it. Because I have not shilled nothing. I straight said, I don't think I'll get an X30. And if I do, at this point, it claimed, I think it said, 600 coins? 600 coins is like 3 cents right now, I believe. Okay, 3 cents a day for how much energy use? It's not worth doing it. Even if I do get the shit, it's not worth doing it. I knew that going in though, right? So I put the money in. And at the very beginning when I did, I said, I don't think I'm going to get the shit. And even if I do, there's no legitimacy guaranteed. We still got the X1 shit. The cold wallet's not touched. I already saw early on. The reason I'm doing that is because I got to cover it. I've got to cover what's happening along the way. I'm not doing it to become a millionaire. I got my JOB. I got my own business. That's where my money comes from. So anything I did put in, it doesn't matter if I lose it. Who cares? It's whatever the fuck. Let's say I get to a point, miners don't show up, they never ship them, and then they completely disappear. They completely go silent. They go whatever the fuck. Now a case can be made because of the miners, because you get into retail fraud. Now a case can be made about the miners to do a fair lawsuit. And that's a civil matter. It's a civil matter. And you really go after them as a civil matter. Ties to my next topic, which is the AI. BDAG.ai.io. They launched a large language model. I talked about this in a previous episode about it's not very smart. So I'm not going to regurgitate that one. Suffice to say, though, I asked the AI directly, here's what's going on. Because a bunch of people are pinging the AI and getting it to admit, I think it's a scam. I think you should avoid it. Should, consider this, And I went line by line because with the responses it gave, again, it's DL News and ZachXBT. That's all anybody has. That's all AI has. That's all it can find. For those that don't understand, AI, all it's doing is scraping public posts. It's just scraping Reddit and Facebook and all these other sources. And it's leaning towards the most vocal, right? They are a minority, but they are vocal. They're highly vocal. So they're highly visible. So the AI sees it and it puts score and it says these must be somehow credible. Now, the thing with AI is it will tell you what you're trying to hear based on the way you phrase the question. So I took line by line and I debunked it in 3 lines. And I got AI, the screenshots on CoinMarketCap's community. I got AI to acknowledge, here's bullet by bullet every claim that it found across the web of all these things that call scam. And it literally came back and said, this is a civil matter. This is not BlockDAG. There is no definitive proof of anything of illegality. Nothing. Because there never has been. Not to this point. The only close you could maybe make a case for, maybe, and this is a stretch, when they make certain claims about what is existing and you host a pre-sale under the auspice, look it up, that you're investing in something that then turns out not to be the case, a case can be made for fraud once you get to that point. So again, way back, they promised you the DAG existed. It didn't ever. Right now, there is what I refer to as a Temu DAG. There is a structure that is like it's the incubation, look it up, of a DAG. It's like the very entry level, rookie, rudimentary, outlaw DAG. It's there, but it's nowhere near what was promised. Okay. So when you have something where you stated lofty claims about what it can do. You know, the 5,000 TPSs, and it initially was 10,000. All these claims, it's never been there. They come back and they say, well, we don't have enough nodes. We don't have enough nodes. We don't have enough miners. And they make the excuses about why it's not hit that. Is it really that? Or is it simply nobody's using the shit? But it doesn't matter, because when you can't keep the RPC stable in the first fucking place, nobody has any confidence it can get anywhere near 5,000, much less 1,000 TPSs, because it's not stable. You can't keep shit up. The RPS is the heart and soul. He kind of downplayed it, did CEO, but no, it's the heart and soul. You've got to have the damn thing running, and you got to have it stable. If you want more nodes, the first thing you need to do is fix the docs that are still out there on docs.bdagscan.io or whatever it is, where it's pointing to Awakening testnet. And you need to go back to the GitHub repository, which is, I think, BlockDAG Network Labs, where the scripts are still pointing at Awakening testnet. Somebody named Abhishek, who I'm assuming was the developer, had updated the docs to point to mainnet just right at the point when Turner got fired. So my guess is that Turner was on the verge of rolling something out under the pressure from to try to get, okay, let's get this thing going, and never got it done. And so then they abandoned it. Now, is that basically the GitHub is trapped and being held hostage? Well, why? If Jeremy didn't have access to the GitHub anymore, let's assume he didn't, then what is it that they're building right now? When they switched from UTXO to EVM, and it's a Geth fork, and you know it's a Geth fork because you can go straight to dagtech.network, and it's right on the freaking thing. It says Geth fork. So we know it's a fork, despite CEO saying it's not. He doesn't understand his tech. What am I saying to you? I'm saying to you, you're dealing with people that don't understand the tech being put out, and possibly even listening to other people who are just doing shit. And then Nick is just playing around. Again, kid in a candy store. They see cool shit being spun up, but they don't understand the fundamentals of what's being built. Here's the bottom line. It is a Geth fork. That's what it is. It's on screen. It's on DAG They've already documented, proved that's what it is. It's a Geth fork. That's what it is, the EVM layer. It's a layer. So we know that there is a Geth fork layer over top of it. Number one. So regardless of what Nick says, there is a Geth fork, unless you're going to call your own DAG partner a liar. There's a Geth fork, number one. Number two, we know there's some layer of proof of work under the hood. We don't understand exactly what that nuts and bolts is, because it seems rudimentary, because the rewards, which again is DAG, seem extremely low. And DAG seems to be struggling to get the miner, the GPU version of it, working on Windows, which to me is the basics. Gminer, NiceHash, all these other ones have miner setups, all straight up the jump. This is a script miner. It's essentially what it is. So they should be able to get it on Windows, yet they cannot. And you can tell they're just using AI to do the shit. That hasn't been updated in weeks. So we understand that they're not heavily working on it or prioritizing it, because they're doing all this other shiny shit. This tells me there's pressure. There's pressure to show things. The things they're showing look cool. The things they're showing they're informative. Then you get to the staking. People keep talking about the freaking staking.bdagscan.com, despite me already doing an episode where I'm telling people, and multiple posts where I'm telling people to stop going there and go to staking.blockdag.engineering. I've already run through it. It works perfectly fine. Is it stable? No, it's a buggy shit show, but at least it works for those things. People keep talking about, I can't claim a batch 3, you do. I don't know what the batches are outside of the fake coin sales, which I wish people would stop fixating on, because you FOMO'd into a phony bullshit marketing with fake coins with counts that don't make any damn sense. It's a waste of your time, and all you're going to do is piss yourself off. So I disregard the ones where I can't claim batch, because unfortunately, for whatever is the case, people went on, I think it was February starting, and they saw those lofty numbers, getting hundreds of millions of coins for just $100. And I don't get why they thought it made any damn sense. You're told if it seems too good to be true, it probably is. And people could have just gone straight to whatever exchange. There's exchanges essentially for everybody at this point. At least one of them will accommodate you. Go straight to the exchange, put a little bit of money on the exchange. If you want the coins, get the coins, send them to your wallet, or leave them in the exchange if you're risky. But the point is, you could have just bought straight from the exchange. You got your custody and not worry about the batch. And the reason I'm so fixated on the whole batch nonsense is, what does it, at this point, consider how many coins you're talking about. Many of them, the real number of coins is low. It's less than 1 million for sure. It's less than 500,000 for sure. You probably only have a couple bucks worth value. What's the fucking point when you could probably do a trade even now on an exchange off the pumps and recoup significant of what you lost. They still won't do it because they're still fixated on the net. This is why I say the marketing won't ever stop, because it works. It tricks people into doing something that they know don't make no damn sense. And then they get angry because they fell for a marketing instead of blaming themselves and saying, I should not have put more money than I can afford to lose. I'm just going to sit the shit out and not worry about the fucking batch and not worry about this shit and go off and read a book or spend time with my family. That's my friend. It's like I keep saying it over and over, which leads me to my next topic. I saw an update. I'm not going to put specifics. It doesn't matter. I saw an update. Allegedly, someone that refers to themselves as a quote leader somewhere refers to themselves as a leader, said that they were quote blacklisted. I don't know what that means, right? I don't know what that means. Could mean that the project did everything it could to shut the motherfucker up. That could be what it is. If that's what they did, can we blame them? Because if a person states himself as a quote leader, is it possible that that quote leader is leading people down the wrong path where they're ending up with greater losses and nothing to show for it? Is that possible? I'm asking the question. I don't know, because I don't know what blacklisted means. I don't have any context behind any of that. I'm saying, is that possible? Now, we also have to ask ourselves, who really is a quote leader? Remember, they've told you this is supposed to be decentralized. They told you there's not supposed to be a leader. We assume has to be leading something because of what we have. Now, we can't have it both ways. If is a leader, that means the other people that call themselves leaders never were leaders and they lied to you. If those people are leaders, that means has no authority. You can't have it both ways. A leader is a leader, right? I'm hitting you with terms you can verify yourself. A leader is a leader. Either he's a leader or they're a leader. Which is the leader? Here's the answer. I'll spoil it for you. A leader is the person you choose to follow. If you chose to follow them, they're your leader. So then cool. If they're your leader, how can they be blacklisted? A boss doesn't get blacklisted. A boss doesn't get locked out their own shit. Turner wasn't a boss either. Leaders and bosses should be one and the same. If you are getting blacklisted, you were never the boss. You're just a bitch. If you state yourself as leader and you get blocked out your own shit, you were never the boss. How am I stop me when I'm telling lies? Leader is a very specific term. When you use it to describe yourself, just be clear, when you use it to describe yourself, you must have the authority to back it up. You must have the knowledge necessary to implement it. Otherwise, you shouldn't do it. That's why you never refer to me hear me refer to myself as a leader. I refer to myself as an advocate. All I can do is advocate one path or another. I don't lead, at least not here. On my JOB, I lead, but that's a business owner. They can't take that from me because I run the business. If I'm not there, there is no business. If I'm not there, the product crashes and burns. Is that the way it's supposed to be? No, but this is the way niche products work. You have to have skills, and those skills are implemented and applied accordingly. So once we understand that and how that all works, it gets easy. There are times when you refer to yourself as leader, and there's times when you do not refer to yourself as leader. And when you do refer to yourself as leader, you better damn sure be able to back it up. Because if you can't back it up, you're just a bitch. Now, with the products you see, I'm talking now in the CEO Nick era. With the products you see, you still don't have really shit to show for it. There's things launched. There's allegedly a casino. It's white label. If you don't know what white label means, it means it's a third party. It's called Pragmatic Play. It's a third party. It's plugged into the site. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. The issue is when you state it as we coded this ourselves when we know that's not the case. You can clearly see in the code, it says Pragmatic Play. And Pragmatic Play has been around even before cryptocurrency was a thing. Pragmatic Play has been around for ages. Pragmatic Play is actually a good service. So it would have been better if they simply admitted, we've partnered with the best possible casino provider there is for this, Sell it. And they didn't do that. Why didn't they do that? I have no idea. But there is one there. there is a mainnet, despite people saying there's not. There clearly is, because the exchanges are integrated with it. We know they are, because you can exchange. You can get the tokens or coins. You can get them in your wallet, etc. We know it's there. We know it exists. I said avoid ULend and UBridge because I'm really concerned about the code at this point. Then they launched all this other stuff for this new, it's called docs.blockdag.works is what it is. And then explorer.blockdag.works. And then staking.blockdag.engineering. And all these other new ones that are blockdag.works or blockdag.engineering. And I got to thinking, perhaps they're trying to build away from the whole BlockDAG or BDAGscan.com era and the old era, which is that because they think it's bad to work with? Do they think it's unprofessional? Do they think AI could do a better job? I don't have those answers. I'm saying that why would they take the time to build up all new structure? If they were going to rip you off, why would they take the time to build a whole new Explorer that's more informative, by the way? Why would they take the time to build up a whole new docs thing? I think the new docs is garbage compared to the old, but still, they took the time to build up a whole new docs. They took the time to build up a whole new Explorer. They took the time to build up a much more advanced staking UI. Why would they take the time? If they're going to rip you off, why take the time to build all new frameworks? Then they talked about this BlockDAGX, which is allegedly a regulated central exchange. Now, I don't know if that's legit or not. I went to it. I wasn't impressed. The terms page is flat out blank. So right there, you're not going to get any sort of confidence out of me. And I would tell you to avoid it because they don't have any terms and conditions on the fucking site. Can't prioritize it. And we know they don't have a legal team because they didn't have a legal team under Turner. So a group that didn't prioritize legal, you probably shouldn't trust them on the terms. Most likely it's a lockup type deal. Yeah, you can come in and do the trades and stay inside here and do whatever trades you want to do. But once you try to withdraw, it's going to be a whole different ball game. Do I know that's going to happen? No, but that's my theory based on what they're showing me. See, that's the difference between me and everybody else. I'm looking at it and it's pretty easy to see this shit should be avoided. It doesn't mean I don't watch it, and they haven't done anything illegal around it yet. The claim might be fraudulent. I don't know what they mean by regulated. What the fuck do they mean? Might be, might not be. It doesn't matter yet. It's not open yet. It doesn't matter, but I have to watch it because I have to cover it. But I'm never going to tell you, okay, because it's there, it's legit, or because there's no terms, it's not legit. I don't know. I'm telling you it's a flag. I'm telling it's a risk. That's what AI said. The same thing. We have to delineate, look it up. There's a difference between something being confirmed a scam and being blatant red flags. From my lens, I see kids in a candy store playing with money, playing with AI, having fun, thinking they can do shit just using AI and a slim team, and they're fucking up along the way. As I close, the miner situation. Allegedly, CEO put a video out where he was having miners boxed up out with the first batch are going out now. I'm very excited. So that's allegedly happening. I have no idea. It's DHL. DHL, if you sign up for alerts, would give you alerts. I didn't see anything. I don't know if I don't even know if it's legit. And if it is legit, I don't know if I'm in the batch. I don't know what the batch means. I think he said 500 total or some number. I have no idea. So right now, I don't know if any of that's legitimate. But the announcement of it still didn't excite people because when some people said, oh, I ran it through AI and they said it's fake. It's AI generated. Somebody else ran it through Grok and Grok said it's not AI generated, which I'm glad that they did the two-way exercise because what it does is exposes what I said. You can't blindly trust AI because AI will tell you what you want to hear. And it all goes to the phrasing of the question. I can tell you just looking at the video, it's not AI generated. It damn sure is AI enhanced because he looks slim as fuck and there's no way. Okay. So it's AI enhanced. It's not AI generated. There's a difference. You can use AI to clean it up and slim up the body or do whatever the fuck. And then they said, oh, there's no barcodes. Of course, they filmed it at a distance, which I think is shady as shit. Because why not? Who's filming, right? Who's filming? Did he just post his fucking phone up there? Why would he do that? Because he wanted to show himself. Because he's arrogant that way. Instead of doing what I think he should have done. We don't want to see your ass. We want to see the fucking devices. Once you walk around the devices, show the barcodes, show the different things, show the fans, go around the shit, show. Why wouldn't you do that? That's what anybody else would do, but that's not the way he thinks. That's not the way he works, right? So then The video, does that tell you that they're scamming you? Does that tell you it's ripping you off? I say no. It's kid in a candy store. It's people that are just excited on shit. They see cool shit that they're spending money on and they're excited about it and they want you to be excited about it. That's what I see end to end, balls to bones, start to finish. To this day, I've not seen anything that rises to the level of the word scam. I have not yet. And I noticed the pattern. The pattern of the ones most vocal, the ones that are the loudest, are the ones who put more money than they can afford to lose. They realize that they're fuck ups in their own right. And so now they're lashing out against the team. And then the team is blocking them from the telescam and blocking them from the support chat, blocking them from all these outlets. Then they go to other outlets. Then they're even louder calling it a scam. I talked about how Marius Bach on LinkedIn, and he said, yes, everything was cool. This is the Turner era. Everything was cool. We were having fun. We were enjoying what we were doing. We were paid. And then suddenly we stopped getting paid. But he never called it a scam prior to him not getting paid at that point. And the reason he stopped getting paid, the timing correlated to when Turner was fired. Turner getting fired, I argue, and can't prove, I argue correlated with getting impatient about how long the shit was taking, because it took a long time to get any sort of tangible product out the door. So listen to what I'm trying to share. I'm trying to share a theory. My theory, under the Turner era, he was going too lofty. His might have been a better product, but it would have taken too long. The pre-sale, unfortunately, was going to take a long ass time if you take that route. They should have done that work basically out of pocket, because again, we're talking wealthy motherfuckers here. They should have done that part out of pocket. You start the pre-sale the moment you have Awakening testnet and you see it's enacted something and you see it's ready to build and you see it's ready to go out. So now you have something tangible to prove. Then you start a pre-sale. Then you only do the pre-sale scoped in a finite number of batches with a very slim supply, not an extended supply. Why did they think the supply that they picked 150 billion make any damn sense to begin with? Because under the prior administration, they wanted the proof of work layer to be part of the sales pitch. The X1 miners, the X30 miners, the X100 miners. And so they needed what they thought was sufficient supply in order to sustain it. And then at some point, over time, burn down the supply to create a supply crunch and then price it up accordingly, which is essentially, not to this degree, but it's essentially what Ethereum did when it's proof of work prior to its fork to Classic. I'm saying that I see there was a strategy change. There was a complete strategy change. Okay, we got something built. It's not exactly what we started, our lofty vision. It's not exactly what we thought we were going to do, but it's good enough, right? This is now, this is good enough. We can roll with this. I'll put some shit over top of it. We'll market it to the nth. We'll get on some exchanges. We'll toss this out here. We'll toss that out there, and we'll start putting shit out. Let's start putting shit out. Why not? Let's just roll live. And so Nick comes in. Okay, now they're starting to roll shit out as a shift of strategy. But now what are you dealing with? You're saddled with an egregiously large supply. You're saddled with a pre-sale that was a fucked up model to begin with. You got lofty promises you made. You got failed contracts all over the place. Sentiment has now been damaged because of the decisions made, because somebody, whoever, was trying to buy time to allow Turner to try to get something out the door that was, somebody had the idea. I can tell you, didn't have the idea of a UTXO model. He might have had the idea of having the next Bitcoin. I don't think he would have. I think somebody said, whoever it was, said, we want to do something different than what anybody else has done, and we want to beat Caspa, and we want to beat Pi. That's what I think somebody said. We want to beat them. We want to be better than them, because at the time, they had the people's eyes, and they were jumping straight over there. I don't know who that person was. I don't even know if my theory is correct, but that's what I think happened. When they realized they failed and fucked up, then they're trying to get something out the door. But there's all these things. You heard Jeremy on call saying, okay, our staking is going to be delayed. We've got some issues. Jeremy's trying to warn. I'd like to keep the course and keep what we're doing. But you heard on the call saying, no, we're going to roll this. We got aggressive dates because we can. We have the chain. We have the money. He's talking. We got what we need. Let's just move forward and roll it out. What went wrong? To me, the main thing that went wrong is not investing full stop. What I would have done is invest full stop from the jump on the exchange. When I say the exchange, I'm saying that the existing central exchanges that they already did, but also do your own. And I'm talking decentralized when I say exchange. decentralized exchange. Do your own, do the bridge first. Do everything you can do to make it available to trade in and out of that damn thing. Yes, people are going to dump off the shit. That's the point. When they dump off the shit, you do burns to get the supply down, because I guarantee you don't need that level of supply. Then you're like, well, what about the miners? You already have coins set aside for the miner pool, allegedly. So if you have coins set aside for the miner pool, what the fuck does it matter? You still can do that. It just means that now the value of those coins would be higher because the rewards would decline, because you cannot sustain, as I said in my miner video ages ago where Voss coin came back. I said, there's no way you're going to be able to sustain this. Okay, now you've got significant supply and low value, so you could sustain it, but it's now worth nothing. But if you had just rolled it and said, let them sell, and then do a buyback and burn, buyback and burn, buyback and burn, hell, you could implement a reflections model at this point and probably get better out of it, because you have staking already going. Okay, you have staking already in place. Staking is one of the fundamentals if you were doing a reflection model. You could have done a reflection model over top of that for the stakers to enhance the APY by way of activity on the chain, instead of this arbitrary APY that just keeps flipping and moving based on how much is poked in there. How about just saying, based on the number of people who are staked in there, we're going to offer you some reflections on this, and then that's coming from the traffic used on the chain for the fees. Then bump the fees because it's too fucking low. You know it's too damn low because your supply is too fucking high. Your fee amount makes sense in a constrained supply. It doesn't make sense with 150 billion freaking coins unless you do a buyback and burn. Now, I'm stating all this to you, and you're like, well, do you think it's legit? I never said it's legit. I said I don't see scam. I see kids in a candy store playing with AI who don't understand the technology that they're playing with, and they're just putting cool shit out there hoping something sticks. That's what I see even right now. Does it end up being something? I don't think so with the current leadership, but that's not because I think they're ripping you off. I think it's because they're incompetent, frankly. I think they don't know what the fuck they're doing. I think if you had people who understand the flaws of AI and who have better vision about tools, I think you could turn this into something. Whoever, Dowie at DAG, I actually think he's a reasonably intelligent guy, but his struggle to get a fucking Windows miner up doesn't lend me confidence he can take it anywhere. And he's not part of the team. They say he's CTO. He's not up there on the site as CTO, so I don't know what that's all about. My point is that I don't see malicious. And when you have these people, this vocal minority out there screaming and squawking about scam, you got to understand that these are people who put more money than they can afford to lose, and they're misusing the term scam. And it's all because they made a bad decision. They never accepted their own fuck up about why they're in the situation that they're in first. That's what has to happen first. I'm in this because I fucked up and I watched the guy on the moon talking to me, and it told me to put more money than I can afford to lose. And now instead of blaming my own fucking self, I'm going to call it a scam. I'm not going to call it a scam at this point because I don't see it, because in order to do that, you need to have intent. And you need to be able to improve intent. You can't prove intent to scam. You can't prove malicious. At this point, when I say and I describe it as kid in a candy store, how can it not be that? How can it not be? You see CEO on the fucking AMAs, the guy, he acts like a fucking child playing around with toys. That's literally how he acts. Tell me another CEO of a mainstream business that acts like he does on these. Now, yes, the Devi guy, Tom, I believe is his name, he does the same shit. They all do the same shit, right? That's how crypto is. They all do that. That's why I look at it and say, I've been down this road before. They all do this shit. They're just playing around. They're playing. They're not serious about what they're doing. They might think they are. They're not. They're not serious. They're playing. This is a guy who's playing. He thinks it's cool. AI was cool, man. All their tools are AI. I know they're AI. You're talking to the wrong person if you think you can try to convince me you wrote that shit. I can prove it's AI. The code is the same. The theme, the style code is the exact same across, and it's not optimized. The fact that it's not optimized tells me they don't have technical people. They're working. I guarantee you. They're just having AI spit the shit out. They're working on basic code frameworks. I think they even have their Claude tied to whatever GitHub they're using. I know they're using some sort of GitHub to check in the code. I just don't know where the fuck it is. But the point is that It's clearly AI building all these tools, and they're just spinning up all these other ones. The ULEND and UBridge, I believe ULEND is an existing something that just happened to bridge into the shit. It's buggy. You don't have any pairs. You can't use it for shit. So what good is it? Right? So then the BlockDAGX, clearly AI. If you look in the code, clearly AI. No terms. How can you not have the terms up front? People, I see kids in a candy store playing. They're playing like they know what the fuck they're doing because they're so excited about AI and the fact that AI could just spin up tools in a fraction of the time instead of having a bunch of developers. That's what I see. Nobody's going to convince me otherwise. That's what I see. Until somebody shows me definitive proof of malicious intent, I am going to take your fucking money and I'm not going to give it back. I'm not going to make a way for you to get it back. I'm talking definitive proof. Until I see that, I will maintain my stance. However, I'm right or wrong, and I don't know. My stance is it's kids in a candy store playing around. They're playing, and to some degree to your expense, but they're playing. That playing might end some point, or it might not end. He said, I'm in this for 10 years. Okay, is that 10 years of playing, or is it 10 years, we're going to take 10 years to try to figure something out? Well, I'm not that damn young like he is. I'm saying I don't see the malicious intent people are attributing. Look it up. I see kids in a candy store. That's what I see, and a bunch of toys. And you're going to see more toys, and there's still no seriousness, and there won't be, because unless you get the fucking shit on Uniswap, PancakeSwap, and mainstream DEX swaps so that people can interplay in and out of the chain without being tied into your ecosystem, they can't be taken seriously. Do you understand? Like, even if they put out their own DEX, it still can't be taken seriously because it's locked in their own ecosystem. Until they fully embrace the third-party centralized exchanges, which the Mika reg will make that a little bit harder, you still can't take the shit seriously. No matter Hyperlink it, I'm whatever. DAGX, I think that's a good one. But to me, Uniswap should be your start because you're forked off fucking Ethereum. Uniswap should have been the first destination. And who the fuck cares if people dump the shit? Let them dump the shit. If they're dumb enough to dump at a significant loss, who the hell cares? Futures trading, that's artificial pump. That's literally what it is. They're kids. They're kids playing. They're playing in a sandbox. That's what I see. That's what I will continue to see. And anybody who keeps squawking scam, and they're the loud vocal minority, and I see them all over sketch, none of them have proven intent. None of them have proven malicious intent. None of them have proven anything other than their anger because they put more money than they can afford to lose. Nobody has disproven what I'm saying, which you can clearly see, which are kids playing in the sandbox. I'd love to hear somebody disprove that. Tell me why what you see does not echo to you as kids playing in the sandbox. I would love to hear that message, and then we can go from there.